Hare Krishna. So in this video, we'll go through the entire chapter 10 as a summary. So let's look at the link between the chapter 9 and chapter 10. Krishna said in chapter 9, always think of me. And now to elaborate on this topic about always thinking about Krishna, Krishna is actually going to speak about his opulences in this chapter. In chapter 10, Krishna explained how the spiritualist can simultaneously perceive God as a source of the creation and also see God within the creation. This actually requires more than an intellectual understanding. It actually calls for transformation of one's consciousness and revelation from within. So what are the acronyms of chapter 10? SEE, C, source of everything, essence of Gita, and third one is everywhere. Source of everything. In this, Krishna is making a point how he is mysterious origin of everything, and one who knows Krishna is free from all sins. In this, Krishna is listing various qualities which starts from intelligence and goes up to infamy. And then he makes the point that all these qualities which are there in different entities, I am the origin. Krishna also said he is the source of all material and spiritual world, and how he is the source of all great personalities. Essence of Gita. This section is very, very, very important. This is called Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. As you know, we have 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, which are segregated into 3 categories. First 6 chapters are Karma Yoga, and some of the elements also talk about Ashtanga Yoga as well. Last 6 chapters are Jnana Yoga, and the middle 6 chapters talk about Bhakti Yoga. And this is a very, very important section. And in that, also the middle 2 chapters, chapter 9 and 10, they speak a lot of things about pure devotional service. And even in that, the most important verses are 8 to 11. These verses describe the spirituality in its 3 essential stages. The first stage of spirituality is Sambandha, which means establishing a relationship with God. This involves recognizing the divine as the ultimate source of existence and developing a sense of awe, reverence, and devotion towards the divine. It also involves understanding the nature of the divine and the relationship between the divine and the individual soul. The second stage of spirituality is Abhidheya, which means the process of spiritual practice and sadhana. This involves engaging in spiritual practices such as meditation, prayer, devotional service to develop a deeper connection within the divine. It also involves cultivating spiritual virtues such as compassion, humility, and detachment, and overcoming the obstacles and distraction that hinder spiritual progress. And the third stage of spirituality is Prayojana, which means the ultimate goal or purpose of spiritual practice. This involves attaining the highest stage of consciousness, which is characterized by a direct experience of the divine and the realization of one's true identity as a spiritual being. It also involves living a life of a service and devotion to the divine and using one's spiritual realization for the benefit of others in the world. Ultimately, the goal of spiritual practice is to attain liberation from the cycle of birth and death and to merge within the divine. These 4 verses gives a roadmap of spirituality from beginning to end. Everywhere. In these verses, Arjuna is requesting Krishna to elaborate further on his characteristics and qualities. Can you please reveal to me your opulences, Krishna? If you feel I'm qualified to understand them, then please reveal to me whatever I can understand. In response to this, Krishna described that his opulences are unlimited. I will only speak those which are prominent. He is all-pervading supersoul. He is the beginning, middle, and end of all the living beings. After this, Krishna gives us specific details of how, in a group of personalities or in a group of entities, how the special one or the extraordinary one is Krishna. For example, among the Adityas, I'm Vishnu. Among the Maruts, I'm Marichi. Among the stars, I'm Moon. And then he continues. Among the Vedas, I'm Samveda. Among all the Devi Devtas, I'm Indra. Among all the senses, I'm the mind. Among the living beings, I'm the consciousness. Among the Rudras, I'm Lord Shiva. Among all the Vasus, I am the fire. Among all the mountains, I am Meru. And like this, he continues, so many of these are given, which goes on. Among all the demons, I'm Prahlad. Among all the letters, he is the A, the Akar. And among the seasons, I'm the flower-bearing spring. And also he goes on to say, not just the positive ones, he also includes the negative ones, saying, among all the cheats, I'm gambling. I'm the strength of the strong. And among the Vrishnis, I'm Balram. Among the Pandavas, I'm you, O Arjuna. So among the sages, I'm Vyasa. Among the great thinker, I'm the Shukracharya. And finally, Krishna concludes this entire chapter. There is no end to my divine manifestation. Krishna also said, what I've spoken to you is mere fragmentation of my energy, or mere spark of my splendor. So, in this chapter, the opulences of the Absolute, Krishna has made it very clear that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is aSama-Urdava. There is no one who is equal to him, and there is no one who is greater than him. He is that personality who is worshipable. In this age of Kali Yuga, we worship the Lord by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now, having completed this chapter, next chapter, the chapter number 11, is actually a movie. It's the movie where Krishna is going to show his universal form. Arjuna is going to see that. Sanjay is going to see that and describe this to Dhritarashtra. And finally, Arjuna, being scared of this entire form, he's going to request Krishna, please come back to his two-handed form. So let's see this movie next week. Hare Krishna.